On a cold, rainy night by the roadside, a young girl trembled, clutching her wounds. An old pickup truck stopped. A little girl poked her head out. "Daddy, can we help her?" The single father looked around, hesitated for a few seconds, then nodded. He had no idea that in just one night, 6 black SUVs would surround his small house. John Carter, 39 years old, single dad, short brown hair, faded work jacket. His daughter Emily, 9 years old, was his only joy after his wife passed away. John worked as a mechanic, living in an old house in the suburbs. Neighbors would whisper, "Poor dad, no future at all." One rainy night, driving his daughter home, they saw a young woman huddled by the roadside, torn clothes, blood trickling down her arm. Emily whispered, "Daddy, can we help her?" John stopped the car, brought her home, bandaged her wounds. She only said her name was Sophia, wary eyes, revealing nothing more. The woman looked no older than 25, delicate features, but something in her posture suggested she came from wealth. Her hands were too soft for someone living on the streets. "You don't have to tell us anything," John said gently, wrapping the bandage. "Just rest." Emily brought her a cup of warm milk. "This always makes me feel better when I'm scared." As Sophia's eyes filled with tears, when was the last time someone had shown her such simple kindness? "Thank you," she whispered. I can't remember the last time someone helped me without wanting something in return." John tucked Emily into bed that night. His daughter looked up at him with wide eyes. "Daddy, why was she so scared?" "Sometimes people get lost, sweetheart. And sometimes they're running from something." "Will she be okay?" John kissed her forehead. "We'll make sure she is." Outside, rain continued to fall. John sat by the window, watching the empty street. Something about Sophia's fear told him this wasn't over. The neighbors had already started talking. Mrs. Peterson from next door had been peeking through her curtains all evening. "Bringing strange women home," he heard her mutter to her husband. "That man has no sense." John didn't care about the gossip. He'd learned long ago that doing the right thing rarely made you popular. But as he watched Sophia sleep fitfully on the couch, he couldn't shake the feeling that he'd just stepped into something much bigger than a simple act of kindness. Emily took her old teddy bear and gave it to Sophia, "So you can sleep better." John watched his daughter and smiled softly. The neighbors saw Sophia staying at John's house and immediately started spreading rumors. The poor dad brought home a strange woman. John ignored them, focusing only on caring for her, cooking porridge. Sophia spoke little, but her eyes constantly darted to the windows, as if she feared being watched. The next morning, John left for work at the garage. "Lock the door," he told Sophia. "Don't answer it for anyone." But the whispers had already started. At the grocery store, people pointed. At the school pickup, other parents avoided him. "John Carter's lost his mind," someone said loud enough for him to hear. "Bringing home strays like some kind of charity case." Emily noticed too. "Daddy, why are people being mean about Sophia?" "People fear what they don't understand, sweetheart." That evening, while helping Emily with homework, they heard a crash from the living room. Sophia stood frozen, staring at her bag's contents scattered across the floor. Emily had accidentally knocked it over while playing. Among the items was a metal card, engraved with a strange symbol. John recognized it immediately. The same symbol he'd seen during his military service, the emblem of a powerful family dynasty. His blood ran cold. "Sophia," he said carefully, "where did you get this?" She was trembling now. "Please, don't ask. If anyone finds out I'm here, you and Emily will be in danger." "What kind of danger?" "The kind that money can buy, the kind that makes people disappear." John had seen enough in his military days to know she wasn't exaggerating. The Hale family symbol. He remembered the briefings, one of the most influential dynasties in the country. "Who are you really?" he asked. Sophia looked at Emily, who was listening with wide eyes. "I'm someone who made a mistake, thinking she could run from her family." "Your family?" My father owns half the city, and he's decided who I should marry. Her voice broke. A man who hurt me before. That's why I ran. John felt something cold settle in his stomach. The blood on your arm, she nodded. He got angry when I said no. Again. That night, John sat on the porch with an iron rod across his knees, protecting them both. He'd done sentry duty in Afghanistan. This felt the same, waiting for an enemy that could come from anywhere. Around midnight, a black sedan drove slowly past the house. Then again an hour later. They were being watched. Emily couldn't sleep. She kept getting up, checking on Sophia, bringing her water. You're very brave, Sophia told her, like your father. Daddy says being brave isn't about not being scared. It's about doing the right thing even when you are scared. Sophia smiled sadly. Your father is a wise man. The next morning brought more problems. John's boss called him into the office. John, I'm getting complaints. Customers are talking about your situation at home. Maybe you need some time off. Translation. The pressure was building. Powerful people wanted him to stop protecting Sophia. But when he came home and saw Emily teaching Sophia how to braid hair, laughing together like sisters, he knew he couldn't abandon her. Emily woke up to find her father huddled on the porch, wearing his rain jacket, and whispered, Daddy looks like the superheroes in my movies. The next morning, the sound of engines roared to life. 6 black SUVs stopped right in front of John's house. Doors flew open. Men in black suits stepped out. Neighbors turned pale, retreating inside their homes. Sophia trembled. They're here! The lead man shouted, Return our young lady to us! John stood blocking the door. She's injured. No one takes her anywhere until she's safe. The men laughed mockingly. Who do you think you are? A poor mechanic daring to obstruct the Hale group? John didn't back down, his eyes cold as steel. I've faced more dangerous enemies than you people. Don't make me remember my past. Suddenly, one of them recognized him. That's Carter, the man who led the rescue operations in the Middle East. The group froze. John Carter wasn't just a mechanic. He was Lieutenant Colonel Carter, decorated war hero, leader of the most elite rescue unit in the military. He'd left that life behind after his wife died, wanting to give Emily a normal childhood. But the training never left him. I know exactly who sent you, John said calmly. And I know what kind of man would hurt his own daughter. Sophia burst into tears. I'm the CEO's daughter. I ran away because I refused to marry someone who abuses me. The lead agent shifted uncomfortably. Miss Hale, your father is worried. My father is worried about his business deal, she corrected. The marriage contract with the Morrison family. I'm just a bargaining chip. John stepped forward. Let me make something clear. That young woman came to my door bleeding and terrified. In my house, she's under my protection. You're just a civilian now, Carter. You have no authority here. John's smile was cold. I don't need authority to protect a child from her abuser. One of the agents whispered into his radio. Minutes passed in tense silence. Finally, the lead agent's phone rang. His face went white as he listened. Sir. Yes, sir. I understand. Yes, we'll withdraw immediately. He hung up and looked at John with newfound respect. Mr. Carter, we've been instructed to reassess the situation. Smart choice. As they prepared to leave, the agent handed John a card. Mr. Hale would like to speak with you. When you're ready. After they drove away, the street fell silent. Neighbors peered through curtains, amazed that the poor mechanic had just faced down a private army. Sophia looked at John in wonder. You were military? A long time ago. He put his arm around Emily, who had watched everything from the window. I left that world behind for something more important. Why didn't you tell me? Because it doesn't matter who I used to be. What matters is who I choose to be now. That evening, as they sat together, Sophia finally told her full story. Her father, CEO of Hale Industries, had arranged her marriage to Marcus Morrison, son of another powerful family. The union would merge 2 business empires. Marcus is violent, she said quietly. The first time we met, he made it clear that once we were married, I would have no voice, no choices. When I tried to tell my father, he said it was the price of maintaining our position. So you ran. I took nothing but some cash and the clothes on my back. Marcus found me at a hotel. That's where she touched her arm. I got away, but barely. John felt anger building in his chest, the same protective fury he'd felt for his unit in combat. They can't force you to go back. You don't understand the power they have, and they don't understand the power of doing what's right. Emily, who had been listening quietly, suddenly spoke up. Sophia, you can stay here as long as you want. Daddy always keeps his promises. Gee, a complete twist. From a poor father, John revealed his identity as a former special operations commander, and Sophia was revealed as the daughter of a billionaire CEO. The rumors spread fast. The small house surrounded by SUVs. Neighbors were curious, but John remained silent, going to work as usual. Sophia recovered, wanting to leave, but Emily held her hand. I wish you could stay. Sophia smiled, promising to visit again. But before she could leave, another problem arose. Marcus Morrison showed up personally. No entourage this time, just him in an expensive car, thinking he could intimidate a simple mechanic. He was wrong. My fiancée is coming home with me, he announced, stepping out of his Bentley. John was working under a car in his garage. He rolled out slowly, wiping his hands on a rag. Your fiancée? John asked calmly. Sophia belongs to me. Our families have an arrangement. Sophia belongs to herself, Marcus laughed. You're nobody. A grease monkey who doesn't understand how the world really works. I understand enough. Marcus stepped closer, trying to intimidate. I could destroy you with one phone call. John didn't move. You could try. Something in John's voice, in his absolute stillness, made Marcus hesitate. Emily appeared in the garage doorway. Daddy, is everything okay? Everything's fine, sweetheart. This man was just leaving. Marcus looked at Emily, then at John, and for the first time saw something that made him back down. Not anger, not threat, just the quiet certainty of a man who had faced down real enemies and come out alive. This isn't over, Marcus muttered. Yes, John said quietly. It is. That night, Sophia made her decision. She called her father directly. Daddy, I'm not coming home unless you call off the engagement. Sophia, you're being ridiculous. The man you want me to marry hit me, father. And when I tried to tell you, you didn't listen. There was silence on the line. I found people who actually care about me. People who protected me when I had nowhere else to go. Maybe it's time you learned what that means. 2 days later, a lawyer arrived with papers. The engagement was officially terminated. The neighbors looked at John differently now, from contempt to respect. Emily proudly told her friends, my daddy protects everyone, even rich princesses. Do you believe that one act of kindness can change everything? Type yes if you agree. John Carter's story isn't just about sheltering a stranger. It reminds us that simple kindness has more power than wealth and influence. 3 months later, Sophia had returned to her father's company, but on her own terms. She used her position to start a foundation for women escaping domestic violence. I learned something in that little house, she told reporters. Real strength isn't about money or power. It's about standing up for what's right. John continued working at his garage, but something had changed. Customers who once looked down on him now brought their cars specifically to him. That's the man who stood up to the Hale group, they'd whisper with respect. Emily grew up proud of her father's story. She'd tell her classmates, my daddy taught me that being rich doesn't make you important, being kind does. The neighborhood changed too. People started helping each other more, inspired by what they'd witnessed. Mrs. Peterson, who had gossiped the most, now brought soup when anyone got sick. If a single father could stand up to billionaires, she said, maybe we can all be a little braver. Years later, when Emily graduated valedictorian, Sophia was there in the audience, cheering alongside John. Thank you, she whispered to him afterward, for showing me that family isn't about blood or business deals. It's about people who choose to protect each other. John smiled, watching his daughter accept her diploma. That's what good people do. The message: never underestimate a poor father. He might carry within him a glorious past, and it's his goodness that truly changes the world. Sometimes the most powerful revolutions start with a simple question: Daddy, can we help her? If you believe in stories that touch the heart like this, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to HA Stories. We tell the stories that should never be forgotten.